Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Jets Driver's Seat. It is September 29th, Monday. The New York Jets play the Miami Dolphins tonight, 7 o'clock kickoff, not a 9 o'clock, 19:30. 7 o'clock kickoff, the earlier of two Monday night games. Let's dive into it. Let's see what's going on. I mean, they got to win this game. Not like playoff implication, obviously, because I think that ship is more or less sailed, although you never know. I think culturally and like mentally, you need to win this game. The first three losses, I mean, one of them was versus the Steelers in a game you should have won, where you had them down to the wire. One was against probably Super Bowl favorites right now in the Bills, where you throw your hands up, they got crushed, but, you know, it happens. And then the last was another last-second field goal versus a team that's probably going to be one of the top 3 or 4 teams in the NFC. You don't want to explain away, like, 0-3. Like, it's still not, like, acceptable. But, at the same point, you kind of have an idea of why they lost that game. They're just not there yet. This is not the case tonight. This is a Miami Dolphins team where, you know, Mike McDaniel might be fired before Halloween. It's another 0-3 team. It's a division rival. You got to win this game. I mean, you just look at it from that perspective. It's so important to win divisional games. You need to get Aaron Glenn his first win. I think they'll play pretty decent. I think it's going to be a pretty close game because it's a Dolphins game, so it's always going to be close. But what I'm hoping to see, at least, is a defense that finally forces a couple turnovers. We haven't seen that all year long. That was one of the sticking points for Aaron Glenn. You wanted to create turnovers. You want to be a disruptive defense that way. Even if you're going to be like a bend but don't break kind of defense where you give up your points and you give up your yards, you got to force some turnovers. You got to change the game in some way. Because it's really the only way the Jets can get ahead anymore. Offensively, I think it'll be better than it's been the last 2 weeks. I think Justin Fields will look okay. I don't know if he'll look as good as he did in versus Pittsburgh because, I mean, to be fair, he was unbelievable versus Pittsburgh. It was probably the game of his life. I don't know how often he's going to do that. We can hope that he does that every other week, but I don't really see that happening. I think you're going to see them return to running the ball a lot more, though, and hopefully more effectively. Miami's defense is not good. But that's really what it comes down to. And something I want to also bring up, the NFL is one of the most talented leagues as a whole in sports. And when I say that, I mean, like, the parity between teams is so high. So these teams are not that far apart from each other. Like, it's any given Sunday, it's that old cliche. But you look at games like yesterday where you have the Giants beating the Chargers. You have the Saints hanging tough with the Bills. The difference in talent between the Bills and the Saints on paper is, you know, they're 15-point favorites for a reason. But when you really look at it, when you look at the individual players, they're not that different. It's not that far off. It's not like Alabama or Georgia versus, you know, southwestern New Mexico State. It's not that kind of difference in talent. I mean, the worst guys on every team were probably the best players in the history of their high school programs. It's not that kind of league where, like, you have really, really horrible teams that don't even try and have no talent and are cheap and don't want to pay anybody. You don't have that going on in the NFL. There's a salary cap. There's a salary floor. I think there's a salary floor. No one ever comes close to the floor. That's the thing. It's not really a discussion point because every team spends money, or at least enough money. What it comes down to in the NFL is coaching. Sorry. Oh my God. It comes down to coaching and schematics at that point. You need to have a good game plan. You need to have good coaching that keeps you, on track. It's a lot of focus. It's a lot of your ability to work as a team together. And I think that's where this Jets team has been just so bad for 15 years. They don't work cohesively as a unit. They don't really... It's not a talent thing. You see the talent on this team on the last few years. It's about not making mistakes at crucial times. You make a mistake, it's going to happen. Like, no one's a perfect player, but it's the crucial errors. It's the lack of urgency. It's the slow starts. It's the same thing every year for this Jets team, and I think that's where Aaron Glenn really needs to kind of dig down and figure out, how do I fix this? How do I stop this from happening? And I don't know the answer. I'm not a coach, but I think what we saw at the end of the Tampa Bay game last week, where they did fight at the end and they came up with a big play. I mean, as you said, they haven't really forced any turnovers. They had the blocked field goal last week, which was a turnover. But to be able to do that in more often, I think you need to be able to do more consistently. Like, that's double talk. That's insane. But good defenses do that. They create turnovers at times when the team needs them. And this team hasn't done that in a very long time. It feels like forever and ever the Jets can't fall on the fumble. They drop picks. It's been that way for a long, long time. And it's easier said than done to just start making interceptions. Of course they want interceptions and all that, but I think it comes down to mentality. It's not coming down to a talent issue. But we'll see. I'm going to go with my predictions for tonight. I think the Dolphins are going to be able to move the ball because I don't think this Jets defense is very good. With that said, I think they'll still force their turnovers tonight. I think they start getting in that habit, especially after seeing last week how much of an impact that can have. Oh, I'm not turning. Jesus Christ. Sorry, guys. This is a rocky drive this morning. Okay. Anyway, I think they'll probably give up somewhere around 24 to 27 points with a turnover or two. And I think the Jets offense, I think they're going to look better. I think they can control the game a little bit better. I think they'll put up, I'm going to say 27 to 30 points. So let's say 27 to 24, 30 to 27. It's going to come down to a final drive, a final stand again. But final, I'm saying the Jets win this game 20. No, I'm going to say they're going to put up 30. They'll put up 30 and win 30 to, say, 26. Bunch of field goals for Miami tonight. Yeah, so 30-26. Jets win. Aaron Glenn gets his first win as a head coach versus Miami. I know he'd love that. So, see you guys tomorrow. I'll have my recap tomorrow.